Hey, what's up? My internship is ending this week. Working on my final presentation for the internship. I think that's actually one of the most challenging things I've done for this internship. I think when it comes to coding, the coding was challenging, like the project management was challenging, but the presentation is like a new type of challenge. It's like exercising a muscle you haven't exercised before. I think that's the issue with the presentation, because like the way the presentations work is that we have a template we have to use. Like we have to stick with that template. We have to use the slide styles of the template. You can deviate a bit, but not much. So it's really hard because like if it was a matter of like I could just go to Canvas and use any template I want and just go from there, then it'll be like a simple thing to do. It'll be really fun as well. But with this, it's much more confined, and reasonably so, because it's an organization. You have to have consistency to build a brand image. Um, so I understand the reasoning as to why, but it is very difficult. Just trying to put everything together. It was actually really hard. Like the whole day. Cause I worked on the presentation last week, but today we had a practice presentation. Got some feedback. Got told to implement some things and to focus on certain areas like the so what portion of it. And like the so what portion, like okay, we understand why you guys are doing this, but to people who don't know what you guys are doing, they have to know that you guys actually are worthwhile investment. I think that's a fair thing to actually make sure your presentation has. So I've been doing that. I kind of invested a large chunk of my presentation to it now because I think that's the hard part. I think another hard part about the whole presentation is re-abstracting the technical expertise for the presentation. I think I think because I doubt myself a bit, but I think RAG doesn't seem too complex to me at least, right? But then to someone who's completely unfamiliar, it's probably like very confusing. Like when I say stuff like embeddings or just RAG in general, stuff other terms like that or cosine similarity, those terms are very foreign to people. So it's like when I start saying that, but you get lost. That's something I really didn't account for. I thought I did, but like I didn't account for how much I have to abstract. So what I've done with the presentation is I can't really start from the bottom, like the top of like we are an organization, we have this goal, we do this, AI, what's wrong with it, RAG, and I go from there. I think I now have a process to kind of like slowly get you into the deep end of my work, so you have a better understanding. If you don't understand everything fully, you can understand why I do certain stuff and the impact of them. So I think that's going well. In terms of the speaking portion, feedback I got today at the practice presentation was that I speak too fast, and that's very true. Um, I think it's a byproduct of me just not knowing what I'm saying. Cause like very often, even with these videos, I'm generating word after word, right? Just making sure I have everything together. And once I don't have a solid basis to walk on, it's really just like jumping from one building to a building you don't know if it's there yet. And I think the issue with that is that when I do that, I'm just trying to rush through the process to make sure I know all the buildings are there. Versus if I have a script that I can like take my time, I can read through, I can say, okay, I know I'm gonna say next, so I don't have to rush to the next sentence. Um, but yeah, so that's something I'm working on. I've created like a draft script. The script isn't like something to fully memorize. It's more so just to give that building that I know I'm going to land on next, so I don't feel the need to rush on it. But it's been really nice to kind of go back to my speech and debate days and like, oh dang. I remember when I used to do this and like go back to my old tactics of like walking and talking. That's like the quickest way for me to memorize something, in addition to just writing it on paper. So that's been really fun. All in all, it has been a worthwhile experience working on this presentation. It's been hard. I have more fun coding. I think that's like it's the most fun part about the coding and planning have been the most fun. But I think this is definitely a worthwhile skill to build, especially as I'm realizing how much of even like just tech jobs, like just jobs in general, it's just presenting to people and presenting what you're working on to audiences who have no idea what you're working on. Because it's an organization that encompasses so many different sciences. So like some person could like really crack in fire safety, right? I have no idea what fire safety is, or like batteries, for example. So if I have to work with that person, I have to have a semblance of what he's working on or what she's working on, and it's like, okay, how do I do that? Um, if you don't abstract your knowledge and give me an idea of what you're working on. Well, yeah, I think it's been cool. It's been cool. To be honest, it's been a cool internship. I don't think I've gone the emotional peak or the emotional feeling of the internship is ending yet, but I'm sure I'm going to get that soon. So it will only be a matter of time till that happens. But in terms of just finishing this presentation, I am worried because I do think this is the presentation that kind of like determines if you get a return offer. I don't know if I think you can get a return offer because technically one of my co-interns, he was here last year and then he got a return offer. So the way I was thinking of it worked is that if you're graduating, that's when you get the return offer. So I think this internship, this presentation that's coming tomorrow, determines that return offer decision. Um, but then I also looked at the people attending the meeting, and it's the people I did the practice meeting with. So I have no idea if it's like someone else is in the meeting that's like, oh, okay, here I'm gonna give input if you should return this intern, or if it's the same people because like you already saw my presentation and you know what I'm working on and you know how I presented it. But who knows? Maybe they're kind of using that final presentation of like we're gonna omit everything else from our memory and we're gonna say this final presentation is what we remember you did. Who knows? But excited nonetheless. It's been cool. So I'm excited to present, put everything together. Oh no, I think what's probably the most important for this presentation, besides being articulate, enunciating, is really just having fun with it. This work I did was really fun. I think that's one of the most important things to me in the work I do is that being able to explore that curiosity that I have is just something that creates a lot of enjoyment within myself. So being able to express that enjoyment and how it kind of helped me walk through this project is something I really want to express, not through words or slides or graphics, but rather just through the way I present it and the excitement I have and the excitement and fervor, new word, the excitement and fervor I have as I present my work. So that's something I'm hoping to do, and hopefully they can feel that feeling. I feel like that should be a song. But yeah, besides, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.